Hey, what's going on, everybody? Sorry, as usual, a little bit of slow internet and some technical difficulties, but we are online and good to go. I hope everybody had a great trading day today. It was, I don't know, I thought I had a lot of great opportunities today, especially at the open. Just because everything like just really started shooting down at the open doesn't mean that you had to jump right in, right? And that's why we have the orbs, right? The ORBs, the opening range bars, the opening range breakouts, right? So we trade those because it gives us an opportunity to see what the market is doing first, and then once it's kind of like shaking out all the loose hands, it gives us a direction in which we can go, right? And so today, not a lot of earnings today, but there was definitely some news, right? And that's the good thing. Like, there's always something gapping on for some reason, right? Now the market last night, was up, and I was really hoping for like a kind of an up open that we could short, just because definitely think that we're in a downtrend right now. I mean, we've got we're still under the 200-day on the SPYs, on the spiders, and I mean, we're just consistently seeing this could be like a wave 1, 2, and then we could be starting a wave 3 down, in an Elliott wave type pattern here. And if that is the case, right? If that's the case, wave 3 is usually, if not the longest, it can't be the shortest, right? So, we could be seeing some huge down moves in the SPY, as well as the other broader indexes too, because they're all kind of following each other. So that's pretty exciting to see. So it gives a lot of good shorting opportunities in the future, which is good. It gives us an opportunity to really capitalize on, I think, on a faster moving market, because these shorts usually go a lot faster than longs, in my opinion. It's easier to fall than to climb, right? So, so shorting opportunities are great. And today was not, was no dearth of shorting opportunities. So, just kind of start, I want to go just through the game plan, for today. BABA was on the list. Why? Because they had their big singles day numbers, right? And so, this one I just had on the 15-minute orb list because I didn't know if they were going to gap it up or gap it down. I was kind of hoping for a down gap, and that's pretty much what we got. Let me just see if I can see some pre-market data here on any of these time frames. Yeah, I mean, it basically was kind of flat, right? And so we needed to see, that was the key of the orb right here. I mean, I had a down sentiment, right? It was like kind of down, and then it kind of came back up, and then down, and then kind of up, right, in the after hours, like for the, and then there was all that hype, like, oh, like the number one, number two, right? The number one, number two thing that they were selling, was Apple products. I don't know, just stuff to try to get people to buy. But honestly, the 15-minute ORB worked perfectly, right? Because it opened, kind of came down, kind of came up, flushed out, a lot of shorts in the beginning, right? Squeeze some shorts out here, right? And then all you had to do was just wait until this bar closed, and it closed up here. And obviously the sentiment was to the downside, right? I mean, it had tried to the upside, and that failed. And then if you look at your futures indicators, everything was pointing down, right? So I mean, what a perfect short that you could have done on this 15-minute orb here. So you have 143.41 is the entry. I mean, you could have ridden this, you could have ridden it down here sensibly, right? Because, if you kept your stop there, you could have gotten stopped out. But, you could have gotten all the way down from 143 to 142, made a quick point. Or if you just, trimmed and trailed and gave yourself a little more room, you could have brought it all the way down to 139.97. So, I mean, that's a good, 3-point trade right there, 3.5-point trade. So, definitely a good one to from the game plan today. Let's see, and then what else do we have? We had SAP. I didn't even get a chance to look at this today. Yep, there we go. Yep, big buyout, right? So typically, if they're shelling out a bunch of money, right? It's hard for me to see where. Yeah, there it is. It's right up there. If they're shelling out a bunch of money, chances are it's going to gap down. So just trade in the direction of the gap. Obviously, the market was puking today, so why not jump on this one too? So you could have entered here at 102.48 and brought it down, all the way over $1.50, point and a half to the downside there off of that 15-minute ORB. What else was I thinking about today? NVIDIA was kind of on the list. I'm not sure if I tweeted it, but it was it got some negative news today. That was a perfect one too. I mean, 15 minutes. All the way from 194 to 188. That was awesome. And yeah, so I mean, just some really good opportunities there on the orbs. If you traded any of the 30-minute ones, which is basically looking for a continuation or possibly reversals from Friday, from the day before, you have Disney. Let's see what that did. Yeah, 30 minutes. You know, this scalping play right here. I mean, 30 minutes, if you took that to the downside, 117, so you made 25 cents to the downside there. What else do we have? ATVI. I was really wanting to trade that one, but gosh, get busy with work. You know how it goes. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, give a nice 30-minute one there. So a perfect 30-minute shooter, you know, to the downside, 54.64 all the way down to 53.81. So nice trade there to the short side. And Yelp still reversing. And why was this a reversal idea? Because it gapped below a gap, right? So there's a lot of, you got these two gaps here, there's a lot of magnetism to try to get back there. And there's also a gap further out, if I recall. I could have sworn there was one further out. Let me see. We had to go 2 years. Give it one more. Gosh, it really gapped. I thought it gapped down. Hold on. 1 second. 2 years. Yeah, this is what I was thinking back here. See how this gap way back here, right? That was 32.75, right? And so my theory is that, you know, it wanted to, the reason that this was a reversal play is because it wanted to fill that gap, right? And I believe it did. I think it got all the way up to like 35. Let's see what the gap fill was. Maybe not. Let me see. Where was he? Way back, yeah. Hold on. Yeah, sorry. Didn't fill it quite yet. But low was... So it's still got room, 37.85. So it's still got room to possibly go. So this is one to also look at tomorrow too. You know, I mean, considering the fact that it's green up 2 points when everything else was puking, I mean, obviously this thing has got a world, you know, a mind of its own. And you could have traded it, you know, obviously, you know, yesterday you could have traded it on the 15-minute and made it, you know, good scalp there. And then today on the 30, let's see how that looked on the 30. Oh yeah, that was all day. Look at that. There's your 30-minute orb right there. You trade that to the upside. I mean, you could have stayed in that pretty much all day, right? So that was the entry, 31.68, all the way. You could have ridden all the way up to 34.74. Gosh, that was the trade of the day right there. Three and a half points. Yeah, that was Yelp would have been the one to look at, and that was on the game plan list too. So you know, plenty of stuff to look at today, plenty of stuff to trade. You know, plenty of opportunities. So it's all about not panicking at the open and letting these you know 15, 30-minute bars you know, shake everybody out in the beginning and then giving you an entry based on the direction that they're going. I personally, part of the rules that I have, just so nobody gets confused, is just trade in the direction of the gap. So if you're gapping up, trade that, you know, 15 or 30-minute orb to the upside. If you're gapping down, trade to the downside. If it pulls back on you, just get out so you don't lose money, right? Once you're green, move your stop up so you stay green, right? And then eventually, you know, we'll talk more about, you know, trading reversals and why, like, Yelp was a good reversal. You know, I just, you know, it's up to you, of course. So I just don't, you know, necessarily broadcast it so much. But definitely worth looking at, right? Just a little more advanced. So that's pretty much it. On the docket for tomorrow, we've got, I'm going to post this a little bit later. I meant to do it before the video, but, you know, we get busy, we family and all that stuff. So, you know, Dick's Sporting Goods, double inside day. Dick's can move, man. It's, you know, I mean, there's a gap below, you know, they could go to, you know, finish green today on a, you know, overall red day. But, you know, it's kind of at the lower end of its range. It is green, but lower end of its range. So you have a double inside day here. You know, so with some potential either way, either direction. And you got earnings coming up at the end of the month. A lot of people have been, you know, looks like funds have been flocking to retail type stuff. So I'm going to put an alert on this. Double inside day up. And let's see, double inside day down. Down. Okay. So we got that. And then a couple other ones to look at and all that stuff. So Definitely some opportunities. I really think Facebook is looking really weak. This is it's just getting destroyed, and it's fine. It should be. It's giving away private data and all that nonsense. But just technically, it's just getting destroyed, right? What is that called? Three black soldiers or something, like three red soldiers. I guess three white soldiers is up, right? I'm not sure what it is outside anyway. But yeah. So anyway, obviously it could do whatever it wants to. It could reverse tomorrow, but it's still looking extremely bearish. To the downside, I don't see why it doesn't get down to 130 pretty soon. So especially if the market's weak. So that's going to be on the list for the downside tomorrow. Huya, or the Nuya, that is gapping up. So this is going to be on the 15-minute ORB list for tomorrow. Looks like, I don't know, looks like they lost money, but maybe less money than people were expecting. So just watch this one. It could do a reversal too. So just be careful with it, but just watch the 15-minute orbs so it shakes everybody out tomorrow. And there'll be some other ones I'll post too. So yeah, so that's pretty much everything from today. Great opportunities today. You could pretty much jumped on anything short and been okay. But there was some good calculated moves from the open, and also I wanted to show you Nike. That was one trade that I took today. I've got puts on this one. I got like $74 puts on it for next week. I just like this one because this was classic price action right here, right? It tested the inside week to the downside a couple times. It's like it tried it once and then twice and then three times, and I finally got in on the fourth time. I was like, if it's going to break, it's going to break. And the market was pointing down, so I thought it was good risk to reward. I'm risking $350 on this. I got 70-cent puts on it. So if we can get down to 74 just right here, which if the market, it's already kind of pointing down. It's got a little bit of resistance here on this, weekly 5 MA. But if it gets through it, I think it could see 74 pretty quickly. And, it's still above its 200-day. So, everything's curling down. Looks like you're going to have a 5 crossing the 10 MA to the downside. So, if you move a point, I think I could double on that one, and that would be a decent trade. So, wait a second. I'm out of it. Sorry, I capitalized on this already. But yeah, it was as soon as it broke for the fourth time to the downside, I entered at 70, and then before the close, I closed at 80. Sorry guys, I thought I was still in it. So I do have PG though, not for parental guidance, but Procter & Gamble, right? I got a straddle today, kind of near the highs in the morning around 93, like 93.20, and I got 95 straddles just because the price was relatively good compared to the 92.5s. And I think I even got it at a better price than the 92.5s we're advertising for. So yeah, so my idea here is that in these waves, that it's kind of an Elliott wave idea that I had. Just you had like wave 1, I think I posted as 1, 2, 3, 4. This never crosses over, under wave 1, and then this looks to me like a wave 5 back up, right? An acceleration up. So at this point, is the wave 5 done? Perhaps it's about the same length as the wave 1. So, so at that point, does it get an extension? If it gets extended, it could take out this, but I don't think it goes much higher than that. If it does, great, right? It just needs to move like another $10, and then I'll have good profit on the call side, and then I'll remove the calls, and the puts will be basically worthless up here, and then I would expect it by April to come back in at some point, right? And and so anything positive at that point is a good gain. Or if the market's really just crashing right now, then I think we could see another test of this 200-day area, certainly by April. And the reason I did it is because you can look at these kind of wave cycles here, from this from this high, which was 94 all the way to this low, which is 85, about 10 points, was only 9.4 to about 11.4. So that was 2 months, right? And from this high, or even the start of this high, it was 12. This is about a year ago, and then all the way down. So it was 91 all the way down to 79. So almost 12 points. Before February. So I think this thing can move 10 points within the next 4 months. So this is sort of a long-term trade that I got into, but I'll keep you posted on it. anyway, so that's all I have for this evening. If anybody has any chart requests, questions, anything like that, I'm happy to field those now. So just go ahead and chat in any chart requests or anything like that in the chat box, and I'll be happy to pull the charts up and kind of show you at least how I look at it, and maybe it'll help you out. Or if you have questions about stuff I look at, just type it in, and I'll be happy to answer. And if we don't get to it tonight, or if you can't think of anything, you want to send something later, feel free to send me a DM or send something send me a Twitter comment, or even a comment in this YouTube video after it's done, and that goes to my email, and I check that too. So I'll post whatever I can to help you out. So, oh hey, what's up, Justin? Curious what you think about GM, gap to fill, and some sort of trade war news. Thanks. You know what? GM is a stock I've quit trading. It's so annoying. It's one of the most annoying stocks for me to trade because it goes so slow. I mean, and look, I mean, today's range was what, 59 cents, and it's just like this, sloth moving type thing. But I do think it's interesting. It is an inside day, and yeah, you're right. There's a gap to fill. And they're looking at spending more money on electric vehicles and getting subsidies and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know, long term, how good that's going to be for them. But you're right. I mean, you're kind of hanging on this gap, so it's got a good opportunity if it breaks this inside day to the downside to start filling that. The problem is that it just usually moves really slow, and it's really hard for me to trade GM. But yeah, I mean, it does look like there's potential to fill that gap. So watch this inside day. If it breaks us to the downside, your next step is your next stop is 35.35, and then you're in the gap. I wouldn't expect GM to fill the gap all in one day, but I would make a next target maybe a quarter of the gap, because it's just the way GM likes to go. It's just a slow moving stock. What's going on, Josh? Yeah, so Josh, I did the if you look at yesterday's video, you can rewatch that one. 3 Black Crows. Thank you. Yeah, it was 3 Black Soldiers. I don't know what I was thinking, but yeah, 3 Black Crows. Yeah, so what was I thinking? Oh yeah, so I did the live stream yesterday, and it was just all I did is do the Thinkorswim on demand, right? And I just kind of walked through how I was looking at, what did we look at yesterday? We looked at Netflix like back a year ago, and it was interesting. It was interesting to watch it and to see how the price action goes. So you can check that out. I'm maybe this Friday, maybe I'll go live because I should be off on Friday. So I should be able to trade from home. I might do like a live stream at the open and just kind of, just jump on, at a couple of the key time frames during the day. Just to kind of, so we could kind of look at the open together, so you can see how I look at it, and that's how I'm watching the price on it. So use our 60 anchors and see how they trade, for that, and also look at any orbs that we have for Friday. I think usually Nvidia reports on a Thursday, right? Let me see. Oh, man, I think Nvidia is going to get just demolished. I mean, I just don't. If the market's like it is, like even if it has great numbers, I think it's just going to get destroyed. It sits on the 15th at the close, which is Thursday, right? Yeah, so Thursday after the close. Yeah, so I mean, Friday's gonna be awesome. We're having Nvidia. That's gonna affect like the semis and all that good stuff. So, so yeah. But hey, man, glad you're back. Hope you had a good weekend. Let's see, who else lost money today? Felt like someone pulled my hair very hard. Oh, Praveen, no. Sorry to hear that, man. Just like I said, I mean, it is what it is, man. We all lose money. I mean, we all make bad trades, or make mistakes, or if we're holding something long, we think the market's going to, turn, and then it does what it did today. It's tough, so best you could do, hopefully, you knew your risk going into it, and tomorrow's another day, right? So just follow which way the direction the market's going, and, trade your setups the best one, trade your game plan. It's really the best you could do, right? You can't beat yourself up over it. So I'm sure a ton of people lost money today. No big deal. Thanks, Josh. YOLO, what's going on? Praveen, yeah, you just gotta be careful, man. Yeah, and that's the key. Just but the orbs are really good. Those are really helpful to trade. and then anytime, like, if you start seeing yourself losing much money, and you're not comfortable with these type of markets, these are my favorite. Like, I love when the market's going down and it's like all nasty, and like you can jump on some good shorts that you've been waiting for forever. But I like choppy markets too. I know it's crazy. I have the most trouble when everything's going up, but I should be better with that next time around if there is one. Maybe in a couple of years when we go back to a bull market phase. I'll be a pro by then. Oh, cool. Yeah. Goldman. Anyway, yeah. So just be careful out there if you're not used to trading short and all that stuff. Yeah. If you're not exactly. Yeah. If you're not trading, if you're not used to trading short, just reduce size, right? So you're not uncomfortable. All right. So let's jump to Goldman Sachs. For Serbi, what's going on with Serbi? Oh yeah. I mean, this thing's just got slammed today, right? It's been getting slammed, and I tried to trade it a couple days ago, as you recall. It had a double inside day. It had gapped up, and I think I made a little bit of money as it was coming into that range. And then, notice how that day it kind of went down and then came back up, right? So it was real tricky to trade there. So I kind of took my eyes off of it for a while, but it kind of came up, put in a topping tail here. This actually was the best signal here because this topping tail took out all this range here, and you could have actually been short just under that. And look at that. If you were short there with the $3.46 risk, you'd have made 10, 20, almost like 30 points on this over basically 2 days, right? Of course, I never encourage holding anything overnight unless it's options, and certainly not over the weekend. But yeah, this thing just got destroyed. So yeah, I mean, still looks really bearish. What it does, in fact, thanks for bringing that up. I'm going to put this on the 15-minute orb list because this thing's just getting rocked for no reason. I mean, for a reason. I mean, their CEO could get implicated in that Malaysia conspiracy. Ex-CEO. I mean, everybody knows these guys are, anyway, my guess is that this thing probably reverses. I just don't, eventually, I just don't know when. It's taken out a lot of these, it's kind of at, this kind of support, area. I did a Fibonacci with a buddy of mine, and we looked at that, and there was confluence that we found here at today's low. So it could very well have found some support here, some good support, and it might snap back up tomorrow at some point. So we'll see what the market's doing tomorrow, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. Let's see how it closed on the 60s. Yeah, so, I mean, see how it closes. I mean, if that VWAP comes in the morning, right? I mean, you've got a hammer to trade off of in the morning. So if it breaks that hammer to the upside, it could be bullish potentially. And it's a reversal one. So if it fails, then I would definitely look for some more downside below this 60-minute hammer here. I call it the tail fail. So the tail of a hammer or a shooter, if they fail to the upside, then you usually get some acceleration in the other direction. Tail fail. Let's see what else we got. I saw Cat. Yeah, Cat, and congrats on 100s. Oh, I got to 100. You guys are awesome. Yay. It's awesome. I'm going to change my YouTube name now. So that was the goal, because it's like the one I have now is like, every time I put it out there, it's like, okay, cool, nice stuff. But YouTube changed their rules around, and you can't change your channel name until you get 100 subscribers, and I've been doing it for, I don't know, 30 videos or something like that. So anyway, I was able to do it. So Cat. Yeah, dude, if you made 20 today, that's better than nothing. So that's what I always say. Be green, and you're good. You trade another day. More opportunities tomorrow. So anyway, so Cat. Yeah, Cat, I got an alert today. Let's see. So originally, when it had gapped up over here, when this was an inside day, right? And so you see I still have the alert here for it breaking to the upside. Well, it never did that. In fact, it gapped down. And I even got a couple, tweets on this. Just, it's like, what do you think? And it gapped down so far, it was almost there was no good risk to reward to trade it to the upside. I mean, you could have done maybe just a point stop on it, but just if it did, anyway, it never did. So gap down, banged into this, daily 5 MA, and then today just completely did a 180-degree turn, basically, and is now under the 10 MA. So this still looks really bearish. And in fact, there's a gap right here too to fill at. So you got a gap above and a gap below. So this fill here is at 117.74. You check out. Let's see these Yeah, and they're only, yeah, this week, that's a good deal right there. Yeah, so 117s, 118s, maybe the 118s, because you want the 74, right? You can check those out. I mean, there's pretty good open interest in it, decent volume today. For the 118s, if you got some downside, that's one to look at there. Let me put a note on that. Good, but yeah, I like that one. That's kind of a shooter day too. At or below, good shooter day, 118 puts. Take a look at those. See how the market is tomorrow. What else we got? Yeah, good one. Appreciate it, Carl. Nice. It's all right for being dude. You'll get it. Tomorrow will be a better day. YRCW is supposed to go up soon according to your instinct. Okay, so YRCW. You always put out the most interesting ones there. You know, like I've never even heard it. YRC Worldwide. What does this thing do for a living? Kansas. It's a holding company. Transportation services, freight, regional transportation. Cool. Let's see. A little cheapo little stock, but who doesn't like that? Oh yeah, nice pause day here, man. So I mean, you had a huge day down yesterday, paused, you know, on an overall market down day. It looks like you could get a measured move potentially to the downside. So I mean, look at that thing. Gosh, that thing, it looks like trading like a VIX product. Yeah, inside week, shooter week. So if it gets below last week's 582, you could get some more acceleration. So I would look to trade this, yeah, this break of this to the downside to potentially break that to the downside for some more acceleration down. Just you know, move your stops, you know, because it's a cheap stock, so you know you don't want to get caught in it. I don't know how spready this thing is during the day, but I never trade a penny stock that is more than a penny spread. Like otherwise you get really jammed because usually you do higher volume on it. Oh, nice, yeah, bullet t-shirts, that would be awesome. Like we'll do like radiation things on them and stuff like that. People, you know, I don't know. We'll go with something cool. I like it. Oh, you're thinking going up, Praveen? Yeah, sorry, man. Yeah, it just looked really bearish, but I'm usually kind of bearishly minded anyway. Yeah, to me, it looks like a pause day to the downside. That's how I'm looking at it. But, right, if it could get up and then do a tail fail here on the weekly, I think you can see some, you know, definitely see a reversal. But just keep in mind it's, you know, ADX downtrend here. It's been going down forever. Yeah, so just see if you can get shorts on it too, and you know, trade it either way. So yeah, it looks good. Nice. All right, guys. Yeah, good stuff. Oh, sorry. Could you discuss what's up, Justin? Could you discuss how you personally use the VWAP? Yeah, totally. So definitely check out on my Twitter page. If you go to my rules, if you scroll down a little bit on the rules, I just posted some pretty good posts on. Well, at least I think they're pretty good. Some decent posts on. You know how I do my setups on the hourlies. The key is I look at the hourlies and I don't use pre-market data when I'm trading it, just to stay consistent, right? So if you look at, what did we look at today? That was good. I mean, Bible was good today. I thought I had an inside 60. So what I looked at here is today on the hourlies. I just run a VWAP and Thinkorswim. I don't do anything special with it. I mean, I changed the color of its the standard deviations and stuff. But so I look for usually inside 60s or hammers or shooters, you know, off the inside 60s to trade. Something had a good inside 60 today that I recall. Everything was just going down. Maybe capping. Yeah, I mean, no, give me a second. Let me see if I can find something for you. I need to do like a scanner just to like let me know during the day what's setting up. You know, it's because it's hard with work. I mean, here's a decent one. So the Qs today, you know, at the end of the day, I mean, it wasn't amazing, but you can see here this 60 bar went inside, right? So this is the mother bar right here. So the 60 bar went inside. So the way I would trade this, you know, I look to see the futures, which direction that they're pointing, right? So if everything's looking down, especially, you know, especially the NASDAQ futures, right? If those are pointing down and the VIX is pointing up, I'm going to try to short it on a break here of that bar at the bottom of that wick, right? And my stop, and see, this is the VWAP, the purple line. I'm only going to short if I'm under it. I'm only going to go long if I'm over it. So if I'm under it, I'm leaning towards the short side, right? And so here, I mean, it wouldn't have been a huge trade, but 166.68, to 166.22, a good 60-cent move. I mean, you could have, on 10 puts on that, you probably could have made a quick $100 off of that trade, right? And then, and then as soon as you're profitable, just move your stop to profit so you preserve that, and then just keep trailing it down. Here would have been tough to trade the upside just because you were still under the VWAP at the time. But that's how I do it. So if I'm under it, that's what I'm looking for shorts. If I'm over it, I'm looking for longs, and I make sure that the market is supporting my decision, right? That's why I look at the futures, if that helps. But yeah, definitely check out the Twitter page, and I wrote a little article about how I trade, inside 60s and what I look for. It doesn't have to be inside. It could be a solid, like a momentum hammer or shooter, or a reversal bar or something like that, as long as it makes sense to trade. But right now, we're rocking off of the 15 and 30-minute orbs. If you're super brave, you could do 5-minute ones, but you just gotta be careful with those because it could still be shaken out at the time. What else was I thinking? Oh yeah, and of course, Twitter today? I looked at something real quick. I don't have much time today. I was busy today at work, but I need to be able to do this for a living. But gotta have more money, So anyway, but all right. So here you had inside 60 here, but hey, I'm cool with making gas money and fun money and all that good stuff too. So it's all good. I just wish I could do it all day because it is super fun. Anyway, so inside 60, it broke this here Twitter today to the downside. So the entry, and it was a whole number break too. So 34. I think we talked about this last night. But look, it opened here, it went up, and it gave you a perfect opportunity to short it. I remember looking at it before I was going into a meeting, and look at that. So your total risk on this thing, on this inside bar, was 14 cents. I mean, even if you did 1,000 shares on this, or an equivalent in options, right? You risk like $1,000 or $140, right? Because if you got stopped out, you lose $140. It is what it is. You missed it, but you shouldn't have because the market was just puking. So it went up and it gave you a perfect entry here below on a 34 break. And it just, look at that. Oh, that would have been the trade of the day right there. So that's how I trade 60s under the VWAP or over based on the prior day's 60 anchor. And that's why I don't use pre-market data, so I can get that continuity of price action, right? Because it usually tests that range anyway at the open, even if you got down. We looked at that. If you look at yesterday's video, you'll see how I looked at Netflix, how I would trade Netflix. So yeah, appreciate you guys. It's really, I heard we got to 100 subscribers, so I really appreciate that. I'm going to change my my YouTube name, and if you have any questions or anything like that, feel free to shoot it at Twitter or in the comments, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great night and a great trading day tomorrow. All right, good job today, everybody. Okay, and if it didn't go great, tomorrow's another day. Right? That's why we do risk first and trade later. All right. Talk to you later.